This is Soul Signal, where the soul comes to rest. My name is Patrice. In a moment, a story will begin. You don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to remember it, or carry it, or learn from it. Only let it move through you, the way water moves through open hands. We've come a long way together this season. Tonight is the last story, and perhaps the most honest question of all. Not what you would do, who you would be if you knew you were seen. Before the wilderness, the breath. Place both hands on your belly, divine soul. Feel the warmth there. You have been through something this season. Not this episode, this season. You have sat with the question of who you are. You have stood in the in-between. You have held the lamp in the dark. You have tended the fire nobody saw. You have stood at the forge door and felt the weight of the unstarted thing. And tonight, you are here. Still here. Which means you are the kind of woman who keeps going. Even in the wilderness. Even at the end of the water. Even when sitting down under a tree feels like the only honest thing left. Let your shoulders fall. All the way. The full distance. They have been carrying the season. They can put it down. 3 rounds. The slowest of the season. There is no hurry here. The wilderness has time. Round 1. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Like drawing breath from desert air. Dry and vast, and carrying the particular clarity of a place with nothing to hide behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 7. Let it reach all the places that have been braced against not being seen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale through soft lips for 8. Let the breath carry the weight of the unseen. Release it into the desert air that does not judge what it receives. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Round 2. Inhale for 4. Gathering yourself back from every wilderness you have walked this year. Hold for 7. Everything settling under the vast sky. The way the desert settles at night. Giving back the heat of the day slowly, completely. Exhale for 8. Releasing the belief that invisible means forgotten. Round 3. Inhale for 4. The water is closer than you know. Hold for 7. Trust the vast. Exhale for 8. Let the night sky hold you. Now let your breathing return to its own rhythm. The oldest rhythm. The one that has been keeping you alive through every wilderness. Without being asked. Without requiring acknowledgement. Just breathing. just keeping you here. Feel the bed beneath you, solid as desert stone, ancient, unchanged by what has happened to you, still holding you, the way all solid things hold, without requiring you to be grateful before they continue. Your jaw can release, your throat, your shoulders. They have carried the season. Let them rest. Your hips heavy and settled. Your hands open. Your feet resting at the edge of everything. In the distance, the vast night sky of the wilderness holds more stars than you can count. And beneath the desert, so close she cannot see it yet, water. If it feels right, let these words move through you the way water moves through desert. Slowly, finding every crack, reaching every root that has been waiting longer than it should have had to. El Roy, the God who sees, the one who found her in the wilderness and asked, "Where are you going?" Not because you did not know, but because she needed to hear that someone knew she was there. Find me tonight. Not to rescue, not to fix, not to change what has happened, just to see me. Where I have felt invisible, remind me that unseen and unwitnessed are not the same thing. Where I have been cast out from places I served faithfully, remind me that your seeing was never contingent on their recognition. Where I have sat under a tree and could not look, sit with me there, as you always have, as you always will. Tonight, I do not ask to be rescued. I ask only to be seen. And so the well opens, and so the water rises. The wilderness had not been kind to her, but it had been honest. There was something she had come to understand about the wilderness that she could not have understood before she was in it. It did not perform. The house she had come from, the household she had served, the people she had given years to, those had been full of performance. The performance of belonging, the performance of being valued, the performance of a place that felt like home right up until it cast her out with a water skin and a child and the particular silence of people who have decided to not see what they are doing. The wilderness did not perform. She had come to understand this slowly, over days, over the particular education that only the wilderness provides. The education of having nothing between yourself and what is true. In the house she had left, there had been so many layers between herself and truth. The performance of belonging, the careful maintenance of a version of herself that was useful enough to keep. She had been very good at that. The specific skill of making herself indispensable to people who would never fully see her. She had polished that skill for years, until the day they handed her a water skin and a child, and the particular silence of people who have already decided what they are doing is not what it is. You know something about that specific silence, divine soul. The the silence of people who are doing something they know is wrong and have chosen deliberately not to know it. The silence that lands in your chest not as sound, but as a kind of erasure, as if the years of work, the years of showing up, the years of making yourself useful and necessary and careful not to want too much, as if all of that had simply not registered, as if you had not been there at all. The wilderness did not do that. The wilderness registered everything. The weight of her footsteps, the warmth she displaced in the air as she walked through it, the sound of her breathing, which the desert held and released with the same care it gave to the wind and the sand and the small creatures that move through it in the long hours between dark and light. The wilderness knew she was there. It had known from the first step. The sand was the color of old gold in the last light, not the bright gold of celebration, the deep, muted gold of something ancient, something that had been here before memory, before the household, before the arrangements that had defined the shape of her life for as long as she could remember. The sand did not care about any of that. It had been this color before she was born. It would be this color after she was gone. And somehow, that was a comfort. Not a small comfort, a large one. The kind that only comes from encountering something so much older than your circumstances that your circumstances lose their absolute quality. They become, instead, the temporary thing they always were. There is something that happens, divine soul, when you stand in a wilderness large enough to make your pain look small. Not dismissing the pain, not bypassing it. Something different. The wilderness holds the pain and also holds the stars and also holds the sand and also holds the silence and also holds everything that has ever been carried by everyone who has ever walked through it. You are not the first woman to walk through a wilderness at the end of her water. You are not the first to have served faithfully and been handed the silence. You are not the first to have kept going past the point where keeping going made sense. The wilderness knows this. It has held all of them. It is holding you. The light was going, not dramatically, the way light goes in the desert at the end of the day, with a kind of ceremony, the sky moving through colors that had no names in the language of the household she had come from. Rose. Then a rose so deep it became violet. Then the violet deepening toward the first faint indigo of coming night. She had not noticed that she had stopped walking. She was standing, just standing, watching the sky do what the sky does at the end of a long day, in a place where no one has built anything to interrupt the view. This is what the wilderness gave her that the household never had: an uninterrupted view of the sky, of herself, of the fact of her own presence in a world that was large enough to contain her without requiring her to be anything other than what she was: a woman, tired, at the end of her water, still here. It was hot and it was dry, and the water skin was empty, and she knew it. No pretending, no performance of abundance, just the truth of the sand and the heat and the silence that meant she had come to the end of what she could manage alone. You know something about this kind of end, don't you, divine soul? Not necessarily the dramatic version, not necessarily cast out, but the quieter version, the end of the water skin, the moment when what you have been running on, the reserve, the holding it together, the functioning on less than enough, runs out. Not with collapse, with a particular quietness. The quietness of a woman who has been doing too much for too long, finally reaching the place where she admits it, where she sits down, not because she has given up, because sitting down is the most honest thing left. She put her son under a tree, not dramatically, carefully, in the shade, the best shade she could find. Everything a mother does, even at the end of her resources, with care, with the particular precision of a woman who has been taking care of others for so long that it has become the language of her hands. And then she walked away, a bow's length, far enough that she could not see him clearly, close enough that she could reach him in a moment. The specific distance of a woman who cannot watch but cannot leave. She sat down, and she wept, not quietly, not composedly, the way a woman weeps when she has been holding it for longer than anyone knew, and the holding is finally over. This weeping is not failure, divine soul. This weeping is the body finally telling the truth that the mind has been managing around for a long time. The truth that you are tired. The truth that the water has run out. The truth that you have been carrying more than you should have had to carry for longer than was fair. And the truth, the deepest one, the one underneath all the others, that you are not sure anyone knows where you are, that you have been in the wilderness, and it has felt very much like the kind of place that no one comes looking for you. The wilderness was quiet around her weeping. Not indifferent, quiet. The kind of quiet that holds rather than ignores. The kind of quiet that knows that some things need to be witnessed without comment. The sand held the sound of it. The vast sky above held the sound of it. The desert heat held the sound of it. And somewhere, not far, though she could not have said where, something stood at the edge of a hollow in the ground and was very still. She did not see it yet. She was weeping, but it was there. The wilderness ibis, cream and shadow, the faint rose of a sun going down on a hard day in its feathers, standing at the edge of the well that Hagar could not yet see, the well that had been there the whole time. The voice came from everywhere and nowhere, not loud, not dramatic, not the way voices come in stories when they want to announce their importance. Just a voice, warm, specific, using her name, Hagar. She stopped weeping, not because the weeping was finished, because someone had said her name. Not servant, not woman, not mother. Hagar. The name her mother had given her. The name that existed before any of the roles. Before the serving. Before the casting out. Before the wilderness. The name that was just her. When did someone last say your name, divine soul, and mean just you? Not the role you carry, not the function you serve, not the problem you are solving, or the resource you are providing, or the capable version of yourself that you put forward so that people will trust you enough to need you. Just your name. The one that was yours before any of that. Then the question, where are you going? She had expected, why are you here? Or, what has happened to you? Or, do you need help? Not, where are you going? She thought about it. The honest answer was, nowhere. She did not know where she was going. She had been cast out, and she had walked, and the water had run out, and she had sat down because there was nowhere left to go that she could see from here. She said that, the whole of it, without the softening she usually applied, without the performance of managing. Just, I don't know where I am going. The water is gone. I am in the wilderness. I sat down because I couldn't watch. She had not expected how much it would cost to tell the truth simply, without managing it, without softening it for the listener, without the slight adjustment she had learned to make every time she spoke, the almost invisible calibration of her words to what she believed the other person could receive. She had been doing that for so long, it had stopped feeling like a choice. It had simply become the way she spoke, the way she moved through every conversation, already editing, already anticipating, already making herself easier to hold. You know this calibration, divine soul. You have been doing it for longer than you know. The slight adjustment, the careful softening, the version of yourself you present, not because it is dishonest, but because experience has taught you that the full version is more than most people can comfortably receive. You learned this early. You have been practicing it ever since. The editing that happens before the words leave your mouth. The checking. Will this be too much? Will this be misunderstood? Will this change how they see me? And the adjusting, the softening, the arriving at a version of the truth that can be received without disturbing anything. But here, there was nothing to disturb. The desert was not disturbed by truth. The stars emerging overhead were not disturbed by truth. The ancient sand beneath her was not disturbed by truth. And the voice, whatever it was, wherever it came from, was asking the question, not to gather information, but to give her the experience of being asked honestly, of being in the presence of something that could bear the actual answer, not the managed answer, not the softened answer, not the version of herself that was easier to hold, the actual answer. Unedited, unsoftened, nothing held back. She had reached the place where there was nothing left to hold together. Something shifted when she said it. Not around her, in her. The thing that had been held tightly in the center of her chest, the effort, the management, the continuous low-level work of keeping herself together in a way that did not inconvenience anyone, released. Not all at once. The way held things release when they finally meet something large enough to contain them. Slowly, completely. Like a breath let out after a very long time of being held. That release, divine soul. You have been waiting for that release. Not permission to fall apart. Permission to stop holding together. those are different things. Falling apart is a loss of structure. Stopping holding together is the recognition that the structure you have been maintaining, the managed self, the calibrated self, the self that arrives already edited, was never meant to be held by you alone. It was always meant to be held by something larger, something that could bear the actual weight of you, something that does not need you to make yourself smaller before it will agree to see you. And then the words came. Not rescue. The words that are older than rescue, older than intervention, older than the very human need to fix what is broken before offering presence. I see you. Not your situation, not your circumstances, not the version of you that is useful, or the version that is struggling, or the version that can be helped, or the version that has something left to offer. You, the woman sitting in the desert at the end of her water, that specific woman, in that specific moment, seen. She had been seen before by people who loved her, by people who needed her, by people who recognized her usefulness and called it knowing her. This was different. This was the seeing that does not require you to be anything in order to be worth seeing. The seeing that was not contingent on what you could offer next. The seeing that had been present in the wilderness, at the end of the water, when no one was watching, when there was nothing left to perform, and had remained, had simply remained, the way the stars remained, the way the desert remained, the way the ancient things remain that do not require your acknowledgement in order to persist. Elroy. The name arrived in her before she chose it. The God who sees me. Not the God of the household. Not the God of the people who had cast her out. Not the God of the arrangements and the roles and the careful maintenance of a version of herself that was acceptable. The God who sees me in the wilderness, at the end of my water, before I have made myself useful again, before I have recovered, before I have found my way back to a version of myself anyone would recognize. Here, like this, seen. There is something that happens, divine soul, when you tell the truth to something that can bear it. Something releases. Not the problem, the pretending, the low-level performance of not quite falling apart that takes more energy than falling apart would. The I'm fine, the I'm managing, the "It's okay, I'll figure it out." When you tell the truth to something that can bear it, you stop using the energy that was going toward the management, and something in you becomes available again. Not fixed, available. The way a hand becomes available when it stops gripping. The voice did not offer rescue. It offered something more specific. It said, "I see you." Not, "I see your situation." Not, "I see what has happened to you." Not, "I understand your circumstances and I am prepared to intervene." I see you. Hagar, the woman, the specific human being sitting in the wilderness at the end of her water, a bow's length from her son, because she could not watch. That specific woman. Seen. This is what has been true of you, divine soul, the entire season. Through the identity loss, through the in-between, through the crossroads, through the planning loop, through the invisible labor, through the unstarted making, through every episode of this long year's wilderness, you were seen. Not by everyone, not by the ones you most needed it from, not in the ways that would have made it easier, but seen. El Roy, the God who sees, whose seeing was never contingent on anyone else's recognition, whose witness of you did not begin when you became visible and did not end when you were cast out. It was there in the wilderness. It was there at the end of the water. It was there a bow's length from your son when you sat down because there was nothing else honest left to do. It has always been there. This is not the moment to be found. You have always been seen. This is the moment to rest in that. She looked up, and there, at the edge of a hollow in the ground, not 20 paces from where she sat, the ibis, cream and shadow, the faint rose of dusk in its feathers, standing at the edge of something she had walked past without seeing. A well, stone-edged, old, the kind of well that does not announce itself, but has been there for longer than the current generation of anything living near it. It had been there the whole time. She had not seen it because she had not been able to see it. Not because it wasn't there, because she had been walking through the wilderness of not being seen. And when you are in that wilderness, you cannot see the wells. The ibis turned one eye toward her, unhurried. The way the scene look at someone who has just realized they have always been seen. With patience, with the particular tenderness of something that has been keeping watch long before the watched one knew it. It had been here before the angel, before the voice, before the being seen. It had been standing at this well while she wept, while she walked, while she carried the empty water skin through the heat, keeping watch at the water she could not see until she was seen. She went to the well, slowly. Her legs were tired in the way legs are tired after a long time of carrying more than they were designed for. The ibis did not move. It watched her approach with the same complete attention it had given the well, as if she and the well were the same kind of thing, both worth watching, both real, both here. The distance between where she had been sitting and where the well stood was not far. 20 paces, perhaps less. She had walked past it, more than once probably, in the days of walking before the sitting down, in the hours of carrying the empty water skin through the heat, and looking at the horizon for something that was not there. She had walked past the thing she needed without seeing it, because she could not see it, not because it was hidden, because the wilderness of not being seen does something to the vision. It narrows it. It teaches the eyes to look for what is withheld, what is absent, what is beyond the next ridge. And in that looking, in that trained anticipation of absence, the present thing goes unseen. You have walked past wells, divine soul, not because they were not there, because you were looking in the direction of what was withheld from you. The recognition that did not come, the acknowledgement that never arrived, the seeing that the people around you were not able to give. And in looking toward that absence, in walking with your eyes fixed on the horizon of what should have been, the thing that was already present went unseen. The water that was already there, the truth that had always been true, the fact of your own worth that did not require their confirmation to exist. It was there. It has always been there. The ibis did not move as she approached. This was the thing she would remember afterward. Not the angel, not the voice, not even the water. The fact that the ibis did not move. It simply remained, as if her approach was the thing it had been waiting for, as if this moment, this specific woman, walking these specific 20 paces on this specific evening in the desert, had always been the destination of its long watching. It had been here before the voice, before the being seen. It had known where the water was the whole time, and it had stayed. Something has been staying with you too, divine soul, through the whole season, through the identity loss and the in-between, through the invisible labor and the unstarted making, through every night you came to a story like this one and let it move through you. Something has been at the well the whole time, keeping watch at the water you could not yet see. Not because it wasn't there, because you had not yet been seen. And now you have been, and the ibis has not moved, and the well is 20 paces away, and the water is cold and real and has always been there. The water was cold, desert cold, the cold that comes from underground, from a source that does not warm for seasons, constant, reliable. There, whether or not she had been looking, she drank. And in the drinking, in the physical act of receiving what she had needed, without knowing it was there, something came apart in her. Not a bad coming apart. The kind of coming apart that happens when a woman who has been holding herself together through sheer will and necessity finally receives something without having to hold anything together to get it. The water was just there. She was just there. And the receiving required nothing of her except her open mouth and her willingness to take in what was offered. Let that land in your body, divine soul. The water was just there. The seeing was just there. It did not require you to be in a different state, or a better state, or a more deserving state. It was there because you were there, because you exist, because being seen is not something you earn, and it is not something that is taken away when the people around you stop seeing you. El Roy does not require your visibility to others as a condition of your visibility to God. You were seen in the wilderness. You were seen in the unseen work. You were seen at the forge in the dark. You were seen in the in-between. You were seen holding the lamp. You were seen at the crossroads. You have always been seen. She named God. This was the extraordinary thing. Not that God had found her, not that the angel had come, Not that the well was there, that she named God, El Roy, the God who sees me. Not the God of power, not the God of armies, not the God of the household that cast her out, the God who sees me. Her name for God, given from the wilderness, given from the end of the water, given by a woman who had nothing left except the experience of having been seen when she believed she was invisible. That name outlasted everything else. The household is gone. The people who cast her out, their names are known because of her story, not the other way around. The wilderness she walked through became the place that holds her name. El Roy, the God who sees me. The ibis had not left the well. While she drank, while she came apart, while she named God, it had simply remained. The way all the witnesses of this season have simply remained. The owl in the archway, the moth at the garden entrance, the dove at the window, the cat by the fire, the heron at the stream. All of them present, all of them before she arrived, all of them keeping watch at the things she could not yet see. The thread, the garden, the light already in her, the fire already burning, the forge always hers, and now the water, always the water, already there. Let me bring you somewhere simple now. Not the wilderness, not the well, just this room, this quiet, this body, you, here. You have traveled this season, divine soul, not geographically, in the way that matters more. You have sat with who you are becoming. You have stood in the in-between and called it holy ground. You have held the lamp and found courage in the holding. You have tended the fire and received the truth that the tending was real. You have stood at the forge and heard the permission was always in your hands. That is not a small thing. To travel an entire season, to stay through all of it. The questions that had no answers, the in-between that had no name, the invisible work that required you to keep showing up without the confirmation that showing up was worth it. To stay through the crossroads and the forge door, and the wilderness, and arrive here, at the end of the water, at the well that was always there, at the knowing that has always been true. This is not a small thing. This is the whole thing. Not everyone stays, divine soul. Not everyone comes back night after night to the quiet and the dark and the story and the being held. You came back. That means something. It means you are the kind of woman who does not stop moving toward rest, even when rest is hard to reach, who does not stop moving toward the water, even when she cannot yet see it, who keeps walking past the point where walking makes obvious sense, because something in her knows, has always known, that the well is there, that it has always been there, that she will reach it if she keeps going. You kept going. Feel the weight of your body now. Not the weight of the season, not the weight of the wilderness, just the body. This particular body that has been breathing through all of it, that has held you through every night of this long year. Your shoulders, let them fall, the full distance. They have been carrying the season, not just tonight, every episode of it. Let them put it down now. The season is complete. The carrying is done. Your hands. Open them now. Let the palms face upward. These are the hands that held the thread, that held the lamp, that tended the fire, that stood at the forge door, that carried the empty water skin through the wilderness. They have done so much this season. Let them be empty now. Open. Held. The way all empty hands are held by something larger that has been waiting for exactly this. For you to stop gripping and let yourself be carried. Your jaw, your throat, your chest, all the places you held the season. Release them now, one by one, slowly, the way the desert releases the heat of the day, gradually, completely, giving back what it has been holding until the night air is cool and the stars are sharp and everything is exactly what it is. And tonight, here in this last story, you have been in the wilderness and you have been found, not rescued, seen. The water was always there. You could not see it from inside the wilderness of not being seen, but it was there. It has always been there. And the ibis knew where it was, and the ibis has been keeping watch. Feel the weight of your body, the shoulders releasing, the full release, the kind that happens when you finally receive what you have needed. The hips, heavy and wide, held by what is solid beneath you. The hands, open, empty, held. The jaw, the softest it has been all season. The breath, long, desert long. The breath of someone who has walked far and been given water and is finally resting. You were seen in the questions. You were seen in the in-between. You were seen in the holding. You were seen in the tending. You were seen in the beginning. You were seen in the wilderness. El Roy, the God who sees you, has always seen you, will always see you, not contingent on their recognition, not dependent on the household's approval, not waiting for you to be visible to others before becoming visible to the one who made you. You have always been seen. The water has always been there, and now you know where it is. I have always been seen. The water was always there. El Roy sees me. I am not invisible. I am not forgotten. I have always been seen. The story becomes desert water now, becomes the cold underground source that has been here longer than any of us, becomes the particular silence of a wilderness that has been holding you this whole time without making a show of it. Hagar is at the well. Her son is beside her. The ibis remains. The water is cold and real, and was always there. This season is complete. You traveled it. You stayed through all of it. You brought yourself all the way to the well. May the water you have been given tonight carry you through what is coming. May the seeing that has always been yours become something you rest in rather than search for. May the wilderness you have walked become the place that holds your name. Feel the room around you now, the actual room, not the desert, not the wilderness, this one, the one with the particular darkness that belongs to your nights, the one your body knows, the way Hagar's feet knew the desert path, by weight, by feel, by the accumulated memory of having been here many times before. You are here, in this room, in this dark, in this body that has been breathing through the whole season. The bed beneath you. Feel the specific weight of it, the way it receives you, without requiring you to be anything other than tired. It does not ask what you accomplished today. It does not ask whether you were seen by the people who should have seen you. It simply holds. The way the desert held Hagar, without performance, without condition, without requiring her to deserve it before it agreed to support her weight. You are held right now by what is beneath you, by what surrounds you, by what has been keeping watch the whole time you were looking somewhere else. The ibis is at the well, even now. It has not left. It was there before the season began. It will be there when the next season opens. It does not keep watch in shifts. It does not rest from seeing you. It simply remains. The way El Roy remains, the way the ancient things remain that were never contingent on your visibility to others in order to persist. You have always been seen. You will always be seen. That is not a promise for the future. It is a description of what has always been true. Let your body receive that now, not your mind. Your mind has been working through the whole season. It has been thinking, processing, trying to understand, trying to integrate, trying to make meaning out of everything it has moved through. Let it rest now. Let the body receive what the mind has been carrying, the knowing that you are seen. Let it land in the chest, in the belly, in the hands that are open now, in the jaw that has released, in the throat that has softened, in the eyes that are closed and resting behind the dark. You do not have to hold this. You do not have to remember it correctly. You do not have to wake tomorrow with a clear articulation of what tonight meant. The story has done its work in you while you rested, the way all deep things do their work, not in the thinking about them, but in the resting inside them. The water was always there. You have always been seen. Sleep in that. Sleep now, divine soul. El Roy is keeping watch. The ibis is at the well. The water is cold and real, and it has always been there. You have always been seen, held, home. Rest here as long as you need. The story has done its work. You don't have to hold it. You can let it go the way you let a breath go, completely, without watching where it goes. soul signal will be here when you return. There are more stories waiting, more nights like this one. Until then, may you dream in light. May you wake in grace. And may you always know you are the signal.